I wanted to share with you my insights from such a long lifestyle change. You have different ways to become skinnier. You can count calories, be in deficit. You can weigh your food, do food diaries. All of this will lead you nowhere, believe me, because I have a huge experience in that. Always followers, people who are happy on this lifestyle, kind of happy. I always want to ask them, for how long do you count your calories? For how long you're on deficit? And what about those times when you just go and binge eat because you're just fucking tired from all of it? I've been this girl who's been counting calories, who's been advising to everybody like it's easy, I can do this, I can do this app situation, like putting everything that I ate in a day in an app, so the app will count how many calories I ate. From the spiritual point of view, you contributing so much energy in weight loss, food, methods, in calories. You don't even notice that. Believe me on it. Every person who's been in ED, eating disorder, and I've been in it for 9 years, I had bulimia. Everyone will tell you that at first it seems like it's okay, it's totally fine. You can't even notice how soon you'll become obsessed, how soon you'll be either thinking about weight loss or either thinking about food. Lots of things getting lost because you are putting a lot of your mental energy into weight loss. You become so anxious about everything. You need to know every calorie that you're eating. You go to a restaurant. Not in every country we have in menu calories. So you ask the waitress like, can I have calorie book? I want to know how much here and there. Surprise, surprise, I've been working in restaurants for some time when I was way younger, and I will tell you, calories there are just not right. The real calories behind those nice dishes, very tasty food, oh my gosh, it's hidden. There is a lot. Even in the salads, they have a lot because they have all the sauces. So the only way you'll get away with it, if you'll be not anxious there at all, if you decided to go to a restaurant, you just eat it, you just make the healthiest choice that you can. You avoid mistakes. If you want to know about mistakes that you can do in a restaurant while eating, text me in the comments down below. I'll make a video about it. You make the best choices. You avoid the huge mistakes in a restaurant. But other than that, you don't have to know how many calories you ate there. This will not be the reason why you have excessive weight. And you know that. You know that the reason for it is your binge eating. This is what you have to cure. And for cure binge eating, you have to stop to be that anxious about weight loss. If it makes sense, while you're very anxious about your weight loss, you will only regain and regain. So you want to put yourself in harmony with your body. Sounds easy. I understand that it's not that easy. But how did intermittent fasting help me out and help me to achieve my results? Having an eating disorder for so many years, I didn't want to recover from it by in a way that I didn't want to have. So people would always say that, of course, you're anorexic, at the same time you want to be skinny, so you don't want to accept yourself as you are. And I disagree. You can be willing to overcome your eating disorder, but at the same time, you still can want to be skinny. Nothing wrong with that. Just look at the Jane Fonda. She's a very famous actress from the United States. So she overcame. Her eating disorder was for 35 years. She told it herself. But she still looks better than a lot of people. She looks just spectacular. I don't want to say that she's an ultimate example that everybody has to be like her. No. But I just want to say that there is nothing wrong with you if you want to be skinny. Of course, there is a borderline situation when it is too much. And for example, you have dysmorphophobia, like Megan Fox has, right? But still, there is no guilt in, like they say, you're not accepting yourself. No, I am accepting myself. I just want to look certain way, and that's all right. I was thinking, how can I do this? Because counting calories were contributing to my eating disorder. It was not helping me. It was making things really worse. I realized that I wanted to restrict time of my eating, not my calories. I want to think less about food. At first, this was not easy. And every time someone asks me, and I have another blog in my country, was it easy to adapt to intermittent fasting? I always say, no, not at all. How can that be? You've been eating certain way from your childhood, like your parents taught you how to eat, how many times in a day. So in different households, it's a different way. And now you're deciding like you don't want to eat after. And for me, at first, it was 3 p.m. I think after a year of intermittent fasting, I expanded my eating window to 4 p.m. People would always ask me like, do you never eat after 4 p.m.? Of course I do. We have celebrations, we have happy birthdays. I'm not restricted like never ever, because those kind of restrictions makes you crazy. You don't need that. Sometimes you can't eat. What do you have to do? You have to maintain your lifestyle for 90%. That would be enough. There was a time when once in a week we were meeting with our friends and eating at evening at maybe 6 p.m. and that was all right. Of course, eating every week late, it was not helping to weight loss. Still, I was maintaining weight that I liked. At the time, I was adapting to my new lifestyle. It was way harder for me to follow it all the time, but with time, in a year, in 2 and 3, it became much easier. I started to feel less hungry at nights. Some days I didn't feel hungry at all, and now after 6 years, I can tell you that your system, your mind are adapting. Do I feel hunger? For example, right now? Oh yeah, I can feel it sometimes, especially when in a day I didn't eat too much. And for example, now I'm thinking about somewhere and I'm eating less than usually I do. So when I'm eating like I usually do, I don't feel hungry at evenings. But when I'm eating less, when I'm putting myself willingly into some deficit because I'm preparing for the summer or whatever, I feel hunger. My attitude towards it absolutely different than it was before. How I was thinking before about hunger, like most people do. Oh my gosh, I feel hungry. I have to eat. So our body sends to our brain signal that this is real danger. Like you're hungry, you have to eat. Like you have to. But with years on intermittent fasting, I learned signal of hunger doesn't mean shit. Nothing wrong is happening. So the hunger that I feel, I can feel it in my stomach, I can feel it elsewhere, but I'm not reacting towards it right away like it was before. Like you're hungry, you go to the kitchen. You're hungry, you wait a little bit and you go to the kitchen, onto the store, order some delivery. Now I learned that I don't have to react on it. I can embrace it. Okay, I feel some hunger. Fine. Say hello and say, okay, hunger, hi. You can sit right near because soon is going to be night and soon is going to be my breakfast. And it's totally fine. I'm not reacting that much on it. And therefore my behavior have changed. And therefore, because of repeated habits and repeated behavior, you changing. Your appetite become less. And that's a huge accomplishment. That's a huge surprise. I was not expected that because there was a time, only thing I was thinking about was food. When it was so hard for me to not think about food, not feeling hungry, not feeling miserable. And those advertisements and banners with food are everywhere. It seemed to me like it is some lucid movie about, I don't know, food is everywhere. Everything is so seductive. But now, I lost interest in many things. For example, I really loved chocolate and Twix and Bounty and everything from that shelf. Don't like it as much because it feels too, I don't know, it's too much. Doesn't mean that I don't like sweets at all. I do like ice cream, but it's less. So my taste changes, of course, through the year. I still love sugar. I don't restrict myself from sugar, but intermittent fasting helps to regulate that blood level and insulin levels. So it feels like a cheat code that helps out to really think less about weight loss, about food. But of course, I have to admit that I know a lot about food. At the time when I was counting calories, I was learning about food, about vegetables, fruits, cheese, dairy, about everything, because you need to. You need to know what you're putting inside of yourself so you can choose. So now automatically I'm choosing better things. I've been a vegetarian for 8 years, but now I'm not. I decided this year, actually maybe previous year, that I'm not going to be vegetarian anymore because I need more protein in my diet. I got so much time for doing my projects, doing my hobbies, everything, because while you're fasting, you have to make yourself busy. Because if you're not busy, you tend to eat again, overeat again, because you're just bored. You don't have things to do. But the whole point of intermittent fasting, of hungry animals are much smarter than those who overeat it. Because when you're hungry, when animal is hungry, they have to chase their victims, right? The same thing is here. When you're hungry, your brain is really active, amazingly active. And it's your job to put this energy into the right direction.